Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, a World Alternative Media here, and while living in Egypt for a few months in late 2020, I found myself exploring one of the most incredible, mysterious, yet unknown parts of Egypt. The Osiris Shaft at the Giza Plateau, between the Sphinx and the Great Pyramid, deep in the ground. What I found was incredible. In this video, I explore the Osiris Shaft with never-before-seen high-definition video. It is illegal in Egypt to film in the Osiris Shaft, but with a little help from my phone's flashlight, I got away with filming a lot, and there was a 0% chance that I'd not film in my #1 bucket list location in all of Egypt. With me in this exploration was Jimmy from Bright Insight, Ben from UnchartedX, and of course Yusef Awyan from the Khemit School of Ancient Mysticism. It was thanks to Yusef's incredible one-of-a-kind tour of Egypt that I was able to scratch this off my bucket list. You can join his tours at chemitology.com. You won't want to miss this video as we explore one of the most important, mysterious sites in all of Egypt. We will soon show you the raw footage of the Osiris Shaft, but first, some context. The Osiris Shaft first came to my attention during a 1990s Fox special soon after its actual exposure to the public's knowledge. I found the old report on YouTube. The Tomb of Osiris. Osiris was the most revered god of ancient Egypt. He was crucified by Set, which many believe was the original incarnation of Satan. After spreading the Atlantean knowledge of the ancient world to many continents, according to legend, Set killed Osiris. Osiris came back to life thanks to his sister and wife Isis. In his resurrection, Osiris got even. His son Horus, whose eye prominently sits above the pyramid on your dollar bill, exacted revenge and brought about a great cataclysm. The rest is that of legend. Many believe it to be myth. Many believe it to be part of a real historical account of the pre-dynastic age in Egypt. The story of the Great Flood mimics that of the story of Atlantis, as well as Noah, Gilgamesh, and over 600 other flood stories from around the ancient world, including in the Americas among the Olmecs, Mayans, Aztecs, and Incas. So the Tomb of Osiris obviously piqued my interest. After joining Yusef Awyan's Khemit tour, I had the opportunity for the first time in my life to climb deep down into the Osiris Shaft. A 4-tier tunnel system that makes you dizzy as you climb down rusted ladders hundreds of feet through shafts that look nothing like dynastic construction. Within, we found boxes that were seemingly precision cut, human bones, and finally at the very bottom, a flooded room with a potential doorway to another underground tunnel connecting to possibly another underground system that we're not allowed to know about. The flooded bottom of the Osiris Shaft had another massive precision-cut stone box in what appeared to be a small moat. Surrounding the moat were stone pillars that appeared in some illustrations as obelisks. The water was extracted for the Fox special, but has since flooded. Few tourists or explorers have been allowed into the Osiris Shaft. It's extremely expensive, so we had the privilege of being the rare group that got to experience this awe-inspiring site. Let me tell you, before I show you the uncut footage as well as interviews with Jimmy from Bright Insight, Ben from UnchartedX, and Yusef Awyan at the location of the Osiris Shaft, that the Osiris Shaft has the exact same construction method that I saw in the underground city of Derinkuyu in Turkey. Derinkuyu is an incredibly old underground city near Syria that once fit 20,000 people in it at one time. It is 18 stories that we know of. As you get deeper, the chisel marks become newer looking. The tunnels went from large to incredibly tight, and I thought at times I would be stuck or even crushed while climbing through the site. It is connected to 250 other underground cities, linking the Black Sea and Syria, which is shockingly mysterious and somewhat disturbing considering it makes one think that there was once an underground civilization. It would have taken thousands of years to build this system, yet there are no examples of cave-ins anywhere. The Osiris Shaft looked almost the same in its construction method, and it would fit the mysterious narrative that many have regarding the possibility that Egypt and Turkey are linked via this underground civilization of the pre-dynastic past. There is evidence that Egypt's underground contains tens of thousands of ancient tunnels. From the Giza necropolis to Saqqara and Dashur, did an ancient race of people once live entirely underground and build a precursor to the ancient sites we see above today? Write in the comments what you think. Without further ado, here is our illegal footage at the Osiris Shaft and subsequent interviews.
All these like outlines?
In the causeway of the middle pyramid, then you know without a doubt that this underground structure is without a doubt part of the middle pyramid complex. You can see these slabs are constructed to use the block.
Everybody?
Not broken. I just rolled up top out of my egg. Apparently everyone knows now. Oh, is that a good thing?
All right, we're in the Osiris Shaft. Interesting, is that a pipe?
There's a bird down. Holy mother of... Why don't you put your hands on the outside?
Water's right up there.
So what is down there?
That's where the water is.
And then that's where there's another box.
Yes, under the water. Sorry about that. What's this about? One of the many massive boxes. Look like the major one is downstairs still.
This is desolate.
Yeah.
So this is a rare topic.
Yeah, where does this come from?
So smooth.
I don't like hijinks.
And that's where the water is. And it's really full right now. It's almost full to the top. And really dirty.
Really gross.
That this, how could this be functional over here?
Anybody want to go? Sir, be careful, we have a water under, okay?
Yes, sir.
ما ينزلوش بس ايوه بس كده انا حته النشاط ما انا بنزل بس عشان الحاج
هو يشوف الميه.
How's the water?
Anybody want to go? Go.
And this is near water. So actually more challenging is how to get the one down there. It's a bit better than...
You are brave. This coffin, I'm sorry, I need to you. Sorry. Here. And you put here in high location. And they, okay, make 2 tunnels from here and here. 2 tunnels. And pull the sand from here. From these tunnels. And Sigurdson moving from himself.
Do we see the tunnels?
This is the top.
These tunnels or
But
more
to remove
tunnels
the
down.
sand.
Yes, this technique used in the old kingdom here.
Yeah,
Okay, but in new kingdom, this use another technique in Luxor and Tiba.
Yeah.
Okay, finish here.
But they haven't found any evidence that they made another tunnel to funnel everything back up.
Well, the whole thing needs mathematics. Just how many cubic meters of sand will be inside this shaft, and how many cubic meters this space can take. So.
Okay. All right, I'm going down. There's nowhere to stand. Watch out. It's very, very slippery. Well, the box would be under there. You could see some cuts under the water there.
This could be scuba diveable.
Yeah.
Josh, you ready?
Yes, exit.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll be coming right up. All right, I'm at the bottom of the Osiris Shaft. Really shaky ladder here. And it's filled with water. There's a box under there. I can't really do much more exploring because I'm on muddy ground and I'm not allowed in there. And it's all underwater. Cockroaches everywhere. Let's climb back up the rusty ladder.
Who an architect is based on. Yeah, you know who it is. Okay. Yeah. Did you have the?
That's not surface. I think it's the site as well. Just because
It's
a rough surface, it looks whiter. ايوه يا باشا.
عندنا فوبيا يا يوسف عندنا فوبيا
باشا بنخاف عليك برضه ده بنخاف عليك.
محمد طلع معك قبل كده
This is
انت فاهم برضه مع
terrible.
ان اكل العيش يخليك ايه تدرن يعني واحد بيقول لك زي اكتر من حاجه خالص بيقول لك السياره بتطبخ. لا طبعا. لا طبعا ما احنا متاكدين.
Covered with the limestone here.
Yeah.
Original from this, maybe this kind of
There he is.
pattern.
Last one.
What's this deposit?
Iron.
Iron?
Yeah. It's an actual vein of iron.
Interesting. Right down the side. I have to be extra super careful about filming because it's not allowed. But there's a lot of things to see in here and a lot of things to film. So.
Yes. It seems very dusty.
Yeah.
What the hell? Brings back to my old radio tower climbing days.
It's a bit of a steep climb. All right, I just finished climbing back up one of the shafts. On my way up another. Here you see some erosion in the cut stone, which gives a bit of an idea of how old it is. I mean, it's all wind erosion, obviously tunneling down from above, but pretty extensive erosion. You see some water erosion, obviously, from rainfall. And it really goes to show how old this place really is. Carved right out of the bedrock. So what do you think of the Osiris Shaft?
It was a trip. It's different than I expected. I don't even know where to begin. Yeah, fix me up. Come on, get my team over here.
Let me get out of the wind anyway.
Well, it's deep. I don't know what to make of it. I got a weird vibe in there. I know that sounds silly, but that's like the first takeaway I had. I was like, it felt weird down there. Whereas like in the second pyramid, I thought it felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Valley of the Kings, I thought felt weird. In people would say, oh, well, it's because you're in a tomb of some kind. I'm like, I'm not even sure of that. But let me say, there's a few things. One, the precision of everything wasn't as remarkable of the cutout walls as I kind of thought from seeing videos before. But the boxes were. But those boxes, there's so many unanswered questions with all that sticky black goo stuff they found in it. That then have they even analyzed that? Was there any word on them getting analyzed? They didn't know.
Yusef thinks that it's something from the modern day, but as far as I know, nobody's analysed it. I think the real mystery with the box is the fact that you have a dacite box that they just don't know where the quarry is. It's a really rare stone to be made out of boxes.
Real black.
Yeah. But between that and the how the hell they got 3 of these big boxes in there, when it looks really like it's a tight squeeze to get them down that tunnel.
Right.
Perhaps they came in on the shafts that go off on the bottom level, which connect up and down this causeway, I would think. So
something else I noticed was what appeared to be erosion of some kind, maybe tunneling wind erosion down the tunnel out of the bedrock, going deep into the ground, at least for the first 2 layers. Would that indicate any kind of dating that might put it back further, or is that kind of grasping at straws?
Well, I don't think it's grasping at straws. I think it's possible you're also looking at water erosion. Like this may have been part of a more active water system that's underneath all of these structures.
Right.
Everyone seems to associate water, and you always find water in ground level and underground rivers in the Coruscant. These megalithic ancient structures tend to have an association with water.
Right.
And I wouldn't be surprised if some of the boxes functioned in the water either. I think that's a possibility as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you.
I will say that as far as the 3rd chamber, the deepest down, flooded with water, and it's pretty much up to the ceiling. You can't really see much. I did the best I could. Even I couldn't orient myself very well when I was down there. I'm not even sure if I saw the box. I thought it was in front of me. And as far as the other tunnels that do exist, Sahiwa stood in front of one in 1996. I saw it on that Fox News thing.
Yeah.
It's like his exact words were that they hadn't explored them yet. Like, okay, I don't believe you. How could any human being with an inquisitive mind such as his just stand in front of him like, yeah, I haven't been down here yet. Someday I'll explore it. Like, no. And then they've since filled it up with stones, which I couldn't even see with my own eyes, but other people have said. But yeah, that place is a trip. I don't doubt that it was used as a tomb. I just don't. The location of itself is interesting because here it is right underneath the causeway connecting the Sphinx to the 2nd pyramid. And then when you're down there, 95 feet down, it's I don't know, a special place. And I'm thrilled to have been down there. It's a surreal feeling, like I'm still processing. Like, I was just in there because I thought about it for years. I wanted to go down in there. It was one of the biggest highlights coming here. That, the Great Pyramid, Assyrian, and the Serapeum are all like top of my list.
And you say that it's a special place, and it certainly is a special place for the cockroaches as well today. But it is actually quite clear water. All it would take is a little bit of drainage to be done, and honestly, I don't know why they don't do it. I do see some hoses in the ground here that lead to it, but obviously they're not doing it. They might be filling it, I don't know. But I mean, the thing is, when you have people like Zahi Hawass see that archway and say there's nothing there, I mean, honestly, why would someone do that unless there is, I'm not saying that there's a cover-up, but there's
more to see, and I haven't seen it, and there is no pictures or video in existence, at least to the public, that shows what's down there. Because again, go watch the 1996 documentary. It was a Fox News production, or a Fox production, and he stood right in front of it, and he's saying that, oh yeah, this goes down, we haven't explored it yet, and I'm like, okay, and now it's been since sealed up, like. But again, I didn't see that with my own eyes. I was crouching down, and I'm pretty much right. That was at ceiling level, right? Basically, like I'm a little confused.
Yeah, it's the water was way up. I can see the box in the center with the big torch, but yeah, there's a tiny bit of mud, and other than that, the water is much higher than I've seen in previous footage of it.
Like when we have all these theories about these underground tunnels possibly stretching even as far as Saqqara, which some have theorized, and that there's this underground tunnel system connecting a bunch of Egypt, and I've seen that in Turkey as well.
Yusef's father, sorry to interrupt, Yusef's father, as a kid, went down it himself and walked all the way over to Saqqara, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's what he said.
Yeah, I don't believe that's a lie. He said it. You know, it's like, what, you're not making it up. People can think what they want, but I have no reason to doubt that man whatsoever.
So why not find the answers to that? That's a question everyone should be asking. And of course, when we answer that question, we'll have more questions, even more questions to answer. But nonetheless, we need to answer at least a few of these questions because it's been bugging me and probably most of you, most of your life. And we've all been wondering about the pyramids, and what's underneath the pyramids might even be more interesting than the pyramids themselves. So
one last thing. Egyptian antiquities. This is the next frontier. So many people from around the world would come here in droves at the prospect of seeing something that hasn't been seen before. You could charge them an arm and a leg. I'd pay big bucks to explore an underground tunnel. Yeah. You know, this is part of the mystery of Egypt. Is there's so many unknowns. There's so many questions that aren't answered. And I'm telling you, for whatever reason, some of these sites, in my opinion, it just seems that there's, maybe it's not a cover-up, but they're not. Maybe it is a cover-up. Call it.
I just feel like Tsoukalos right now. I'm like, I'm not saying it's a cover-up, but it's a cover-up.
And I don't know why. It doesn't have to be some giant conspiracy. I'm not saying they're hiding some technology or something like this. I'm simply saying that there's things that exist that haven't been seen by the public, and that in itself it just drives me crazy, and that I want to go see.
Of course.
Regardless of what it is. It could just be an empty, barren tunnel with nothing to see. But the fact that others aren't seeing it makes me want to go see it, and I'd pay top dollar to see it. So Egyptian antiquities, guys, let's work together on this.
Right.
This is such a cash cow opportunity, and it'd make a bunch of people happy, and it's all in good fun, and why not?
Absolutely.
Why
When
not?
people tell me I can't do something or I can't know something, it makes me want to do and know that thing that much more. And of course, there's other things like Zawiyat al-Aryan in Egypt here, where it's been covered up since 1964, literally with tarps. And it was an unfinished pyramid and had a giant basin at the bottom. And they started studying it and immediately covered it up and covered it in garbage and stuff like that. There's a lot of cases like this all over Egypt, and it's why we need to explore all the more. And it seems like things are opening up a little bit more today than they used to be. For the average person to kind of investigate, but not enough yet. So cross your fingers that's going to change.
$1, but it's curved.
I mean, it's in the ground.
Yeah. Yes, because this millions of years ago used to be under
they
the
left
ocean.
it up. Yeah, it's just interesting. It looks like a panic button in the middle of the desert. Like, it's cool.
So I wanted to ask you if you figure that the tunnels at the bottom of this shaft could lead to other tunnels underneath the Giza Plateau.
Well, in the third level, there is a part that looks like a tunnel, and it's not been fully excavated.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why wouldn't it be?
Well,
Even to other structures where we see that these vertical shafts lead to subterranean structures. It's not like it's not there.
Well, and your father, of course, famously climbed through a lot of these tunnels in his lifetime.
Oh yeah, back in the days when he was a child living here in the area, most of these tunnels and shafts didn't have any ceiling on it.
Is it true that he was able to? Well, was it true that he was able to go from a place like Saqqara to the Giza Plateau underground?
I am not positive.
You're not positive?
I'm not positive.
Okay.
But is it true that there are tunnels underground that runs for kilometers? Yes, we have the tunnels of Tunat Jabal, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It goes for like 3 kilometers. We have series of tunnels underneath the Step Pyramid that if you put them in a straight line, they will form like 5.6 kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
We have also the 5 levels underneath the Step Pyramid that is part of it. And we have also 3 levels here that is located in the pyramid. So in my opinion, the importance of this is how we can see that the underground structure that is carved in the bedrock is connected to the pyramid and not separated from it. And the other shafts that we're going to see here that is dated to the 26th dynasty, because the 26th dynasty reused them as burial during the time, which is around 500, 600 BC. And by mistake, we dated them to the 26th dynasty, but it's a reuse. Exactly the same, also like the Step Pyramid and the burials that took place in many of the corridors from the 26th dynasty.
And there's a lot of wind erosion going down the first tunnel into the shaft here. But at the bottom we have water, which seems to mean that it's at the Nile level. It's at the same level as the Nile.
There's a big water table here in the area as well.
Yeah.
You can see it still in front of the Sphinx and the Valley Temple. And there is a project to suck this water since 2012, but we still have lots of water. So
yeah, it seems to be getting higher.
To be connected, or maybe the amount of water table, because we know that the river used to run from here. So, and it's a limestone bedrock, then it will have a huge amount stored of water.
So if you were to guess, is it more likely that these tunnels were for travel or for water to flow? Because it seems like a lot of these tunnels fill with water very easily around the plateau. So would they be for the movement of water or for people to walk in? What would your guess be?
It doesn't look like it was made for people to walk in. So if it's the two choices, then I will choose water.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
These were grave robbers, these were not dug grave robbers.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, this was good. I wasn't sure.
Because there are boxes down there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there are boxes. There is this couple of
box
boxes
down there, is it
the
similar to
side,
the
and then
box
the
that's
one in the
under
lower level is look like cyanide or black.
Similar to the one under the Great Pyramid, like down at the bottom.
In the Great Pyramid?
Yeah.
You mean the tunnel or the box?
That box at the bottom. Way one at the bottom.
No,
Is
no.
it there?
The one in the Great Pyramid is reflecting saw cutting and tubular drills, and we will see it today.
Oh, okay.
These ones are reflecting pounding, not power.
And the boxes in this shaft seem way too big to have possibly been brought down there. It just doesn't seem likely.
I think the tunnel will fit. Yes, because the box can come down. If you make it stand like vertically like this, it will be able to go down. But still, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It needs accurate measurement if we want to believe the idea of filling the shaft with sand and then lay the box and then release the sand to lower the box. So how many cubic meters of sand is going to be in the shaft, and with the chamber down there, because it's not so big as you saw, would it actually fit the amount of sand that can be filled inside the shaft? So it requires these things like
so sand hydraulics.
Yeah, technicalities.
Okay.
Is there another entrance to the place that we don't know? Maybe. But everything here is carved in the bedrock, except for the part that Dr. Zaya Hawass, of course, said like he's gonna continue excavating it, but it doesn't seem like he did.
25 years later.
Huh?
25 years later.
Yeah. So you know this. This video that he released long time ago. But at that time, they were able to suck lots of the water, and the box was revealed. And it looks similar to one of the boxes in the Serapeum, like with the corner being curved to the back, and then has the two sides.
Okay. Interesting. Sphinx there.
Thanks for watching, everyone. What an incredible experience. This is what I live for. Don't miss our upcoming videos exploring ancient sites around the world. YouTube deleted our original World Alternative Media channel, which included our documentary on the ground at the reshot structure in Mauritania, Africa, our exploration of Karahan Tepe in Turkey, among about 100 other locations throughout the ancient world. Make sure to find us at Josh Sigurdson on YouTube, and more importantly, on BitChute and Odysee at World Alternative Media. If you want to support us in the work that we do, check the links below, share our videos everywhere, and hit the like button. We have a GoGetFunding.com campaign, as well as a Patreon and a Subscribe Star. We also have a Bitcoin address below, as well as a link to our Cointree, which allows you to donate in multiple other cryptocurrencies. We have a PayPal, a Teespring merchandise store, and of course, we have a newsletter, which you can join at www.iamband.com. Follow us on Twitter at World Alt Media and Instagram at World Alternative Media. And anyway, thanks everyone. Share this video and stay tuned for more incredible adventures into the ancient world. Don't forget to check out our other documentaries on BitChute, LBRY/Odysee, and what remains on YouTube if you want. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
I'm sure you have already changed people's minds in your young age because you're involved, and I like that.
Wow.